I know, you're here.
How often do you get distracted? So you're focusing on something that you know is important and you all wrote something down. How often do you get distracted on a daily basis? I think all of us can relate to some extent. For most people, I think it's easy for people to get focused. I think the real challenge is to stay focused the long term. It's like New Year's Eve resolutions, December 31st. People want to lose weight, they want to get into a relationship, they want to make more money. They get focused on December 31st, but staying focused the long term isn't easy. In fact, it's less than 5% of people that actually follow through. Sure, they get focused, but they don't stay focused. So what's the answer? If you're like me, you go online, you do some research, and this is what they tell you. Number one, get a really good night's sleep. Number two, get out in nature, exercise, take breaks, listen to music, make sure you eat a really healthy diet, avoid caffeine, shut off your computer, get offline, make sure your place is not full of clutter, and in addition, get this is the last one that kills me, make sure you have a to-do list. Now, think about this for a minute. Who has time for all of these things? Very few people. And this is the reason why most people fail when it comes to getting focused and staying focused. So what if there was an easier way, a simple way, so that you could get focused and stay focused and it wouldn't be a hassle? That's what we're going to discover in this hour. I wish you were with me. I grew up on Sawmill Road. I could actually walk there from here today. It would be kind of strange because I don't live there anymore. But 1972, I grew up over here in the 60s and 70s. And I went to my grandparents' house in Danbury, and we're all sitting around. It's Christmas, December 25th, 1972. Everybody's talking. Everybody's eating, they're smoking, drinking. You know, it's a lot of distraction going on in the room. All of a sudden, my Uncle Victor, he reaches down on the table and he picks up a quarter. And he goes, "Greg, look." And he takes the quarter in his hand and he goes like this, and all of a sudden he shows me his hands and they're empty. It disappeared. And all of the noise, all of the distraction disappeared, and I said, "Vic, Uncle Vic, how did you do that?" He says, "I can't tell you, kid, it's a secret." I says, "Yeah, but I can keep a secret." He goes, "Yeah, so can I." So my birthday is December 25th. I begged him the whole night. I said, "Please, Uncle Vic, please. I've never had a birthday. Show me how you did that. I need to know how you took the quarter in one hand and went like this and made it disappear. Like, this is amazing." He wouldn't tell me. So finally, at the end of the night, he says, "Come here, kid." That was the night he introduced me to misdirection. And what misdirection taught me when I was 10 years old was this. If you're taking notes, this is the first point. The conscious mind is easily distracted. That's the first point. I learned this when I was 10. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. Take your hand like this and make a fist. Everybody play along. And by the way, I appreciate you all showing up. And bring one finger up just like that. All right, we have to start again. That's your thumb, not your finger. A little bit of misdirection. All right, now we're going to make a circle. We're going to make a circle with your fingers, your four fingers here, and your thumb. So everybody's going to make a circle. Put it right next to your ear so it's right of your right ear. Now take the circle, follow me, do what I do, put it right on your chin. Ma'am, this is your chin. Misdirection, misdirection. What misdirection taught me is that the conscious mind is easily distracted. Hopefully you're convinced. If not, so January, I'm in Vegas at the MGM. Sir, what's your first name?
Harry.
Harry. Harry Duffy. So I'm sitting right where Harry is, and David Copperfield, the magician, he walks out, and he's standing right here. And I could look up and see him. That's how close he is. I realize you didn't pay $150 for these tickets, but I did. This is what he did. I want to show you. Take your two hands just like this. Take your left, play along, bring it over your right. Now, if you go to the MGM, this is how David Copperfield opens his show. Takes his left, puts it over his hand, and then he gets everybody, like 500 people in the audience, to all do this at once. What you do is you bring your thumbs down, follow me, and then you hold it. If you can do it, you hold it real tight. Now, if you're doing it well, your pinkies are at the top, your thumbs are down here at the bottom. Now, follow me. Don't worry yourself. Pretty simple, just like that. What misdirection showed me when I was 10 years old is that the conscious mind is easily distracted. Hopefully you're a believer. I'm going to teach you this, but you have to promise me that you don't tell the secret, because it's a secret. And this is how David opens the show in Vegas. So you all promise? I'm going to show you. Spoiler alert. You can show people, you just can't tell them. The fact that you showed up, I'm going to teach you how David Copperfield and I do this. So take your left. I'll show you what I did. Take your left. This is a spoiler alert. You're going to be really disappointed after you see this. It's the only thing you're going to remember. You're going to go home and this is what you're going to do. So left over the right. And then I told you to put your hands down like this. Now this is what I said. I said, if you're doing it right, Colleen, you're in the back. I said, the pinkies are at the top. Colleen's got it right. And then what I did is I let go just like this. I let go of my hands. And I pointed to the thumbs. So this is what I did. I said, the thumbs are down here. And then I rejoined it. And then I brought it over. Spoiler alert. Here's the point. Here's the point of all of this fun and games. The conscious mind is easily distracted. Say it with me. The conscious mind is easily distracted. Let's say it again. The conscious mind is easily distracted. I want you to say it because I want you to remember it. Let's do it again, but this time, when I let go, I want you to look for that. I want, just focus, not necessarily on your hands, focus on when I let go. So you're like, I saw what he did. I saw when he broke. Cheater. Yeah, exactly. In fact, you can say it out loud. You can say, I saw. You do that at the MGM, they're going to throw you out. Because he's got a bouncer, and your daughter's not going to throw you out. All right, ready? Left over the right, and bring it over like this. Tight it really tight. Go ahead, sir, you can do it. Now the pinkies are at the top. Now the thumbs, this is where I let go. But I don't have to. Because I already did. Yes! High five, high five.
I totally missed it.
Let's say it again. The conscious mind is easily distracted. That's the first point. Now, if misdirection had a husband, his name would be multitask. We all do it. I'm guilty of it. I'll be cooking, I'll be on the phone, I'll be doing the laundry, I'll be talking to somebody, looking at social media. By the way, when you're on the phone looking at social media, people know you're not paying attention. This is what I learned, and I've been studying this for over 2 decades. We are not good at multitasking. It's impossible. Now here are some really terrible statistics, but they're true. People who get on the road, drive on 84, go over to New York, drive in Connecticut, drive in New York State, or even drive anywhere in the United States, 400,000 people every year who are holding the wheel and look down at their phone at the wrong time get into a car accident. This is a message for your kids and your grandkids. We are not good at multitasking. Case in point, the average person picks up their phone, they tap it, they swipe it, and they click it over 2,000 times a day. It's 2,600 times a day. Sadly, 4,000 people die every year. They're just driving the car, going to work, they're doing whatever, the phone goes off, they text, they look down, 4,000 people just in America lose their life. It's the last time they look at their phone. In business, and I do a lot of speaking for business and corporations, the average person that goes to work wastes 12 and a half hours per week because they're going to work, they're just not engaged. They're looking at the phone, they're thinking of something else. And this is an estimate. I don't know how in the world people could figure this out. 650 billion with a B is wasted every single year because people are not engaged at work. They're just not engaged. They don't want to work, and they have other things that they're distracted by. So let me show you what this looks like. Take your right foot and point it out, your right foot and point it out. Put it at 7 if it's a clock, and move it clockwise up to 12, so you're moving it clockwise. 7, 12, 3, 6. Your foot's going around in a circle clockwise. And while you're doing that, point your right finger up in the air. So you have to do two things at the same time. You have to move your foot clockwise, and with your right finger in the air, move your finger counterclockwise and see what happens. It's all over. Here's the point. The point is, we cannot multitask. So what's your first name? Jean? Jane. Jane McGuigan.
That's right.
That's right. So if I'm looking at Jane, I can't see Colleen. I can see I know she's there, and I know your daughter's in the back, but I know that I cannot focus on everything. It's totally impossible. So if I'm looking at you and talking to you, you're the most important person in the room to me, unless I give it away. By looking at my clock or my watch, or I look at my phone, or I look around the room. In business and in relationships, don't multitask. And obviously don't multitask when you're driving. It can be deadly. Now, if misdirection and multitask had a baby, the baby's name would be Overwhelm. This is how it works. A guy by the name of George Miller wrote a paper many years ago, you can Google this, called The Magical Number of 7. How many? 7. And this is true. He says there's billions of bits of information coming at us at the same time. We cannot focus on anything, or at all of it, I should say. He says about 7 bits of information. Like, I still remember my telephone number from New Fairfield, Connecticut, over on Sawmill Road. It's 203-746-3154, and it's in chunks of 7, right? That's it. I still remember it, and I'm going to turn 60 this year. I haven't dialed it because they would think I was weird. There's not a lot of information we can take in past 7, give or take 2, so it's like 3 or 9. That's really all it is. So when it comes to overwhelm, we get stressed out when we're driving and texting and thinking, and we're in the past and we're in the future. That's the reason why people get stressed out. That's the reason why people are not healthy. There's a video online, and I don't know if you've seen it. It's called The Monkey Business Illusion. Have you seen it? Anybody? All right, so this is a spoiler alert. You can go home and Google it. Monkey Business Illusion. They have 2 teams. They have a white team over here. They have a black team over here. They're all wearing black jerseys, and that team over there is wearing white jerseys. And this team is passing the basketball. You could be with me over here because we're both wearing black. And they're passing the basketball, and they say, okay, watch this team only, just this team. Don't focus on the white team, because that's a distraction. Focus only on this team, and all you have to do is count. Like, how easy is that? So you're counting how many times, like this would be 1, then he throws it back to me, this is 2, this is 3. Here's the spoiler alert, the number is 16. Have you seen it?
I have seen it.
You have seen it.
I remember it.
Yeah, now you remember it.
It's coming back.
So you remember what happens?
I think so.
Tell us.
Isn't there a guy in a monkey suit?
Yes!
Through the gym and nobody notices it
Yes,
at all?
exactly. So there's a guy in a monkey suit. He's like 6'5". He walks through the middle of it, goes like this, and walks off the stage, and only 50% of the people that saw it actually saw.
When I first saw it, I did not
You didn't see it.
him.
I did not see it either.
Nope.
So go home tonight, don't do it now. Monkey Business Illusion. So it's like this. I don't have a gorilla, but it's like this. I want to have you have the experience. If I said to you, look around the room for every, let's say 7. Let's just pick 7 because I like the number 7. For 7 things in the room that are red. Well, there's the exit sign, there's the flag, there's the exit sign, there's red here, you're wearing red, the card that you have in the hand, this is red, the card box It's easy. I mean, you could literally close your eyes and you could write down 7 things. You could take that in. There's no overwhelm. However, if I said, let's look around for 7 things that were blue. Oh, that chair's blue, you got a blue jean jacket, you got a blue, there's blue over here, there's blue in the flag, there's another flag, which is Connecticut flag, there's something in the back. Easily, you probably, if you wanted to, you could probably think of 7 things that were red and 7 things that were blue. However, if we pushed it, and we said, now I want you to think of another 7 things that were blue, another 7 things that were red, you would be what? Overrun, because you simply can't take it in. Did you see the second part of the monkey business illusion?
I don't know, I almost forgot the first piece.
Okay, that's right. Kids can't focus on everything. That's right, you're in a good place. I've been doing this for years, I know the story. So they bring in people, the same people, exactly, and they go, now we want you to focus on the gorilla. Same people. You can count the basketballs being passed. 16, it's always 16. Don't focus on the white team. But this time, be aware of the guy in the suit walking up and going like this, the monkey, right? Every single person counted 16 because they knew that was what it was supposed to be. And then they looked for the gorilla and they found the gorilla. They all did. 100%, went from 50 to 100%. And they all felt really proud of themselves. And then they said, did you notice that one person walked off the stage? One of the guys that was passing the basketball just got up and walked away. Just walked off the stage. No one noticed. No one saw it. Oh, by the way, did you notice the curtain? It was red, turned to something like blue, changed. No one noticed it. Why? Remember what I said earlier, 1972? The conscious mind, say it with me, the conscious mind is easily distracted. That's the first one. The second thing I learned from my mom right up the street on Sawmill Road over near the telephone company. If you walk up there, you can see it. We would sit in our living room and the television would come on. And it was during the 70s. They had The Exorcist and Poltergeist and all these commercials. And my mom would roll her eyes. This is a true story. She'd roll her eyes and this is what she would say, and I can still hear her. Can't wait. I go, Mom, what do you mean you can't wait? She said, Gregory, be careful what you expose your mind to. And I said, Mom, what are you talking about? It's just a commercial. It's just a horror flick. It's no big deal. It's not real. It's just all stuff. Gregory, be careful what you expose your mind to. And I'd say, Mom, why? I was a teenager, didn't listen to her, always got into trouble, and I never really believed what she had to say. But this is the second thing that I want to share with you. And this is what she said. The unconscious mind is easily conditioned. Let's say that together. The unconscious mind is easily conditioned. Now, as I grew up and I started doing some studies on this topic of focus, I realized that she's telling the truth. Let me see if I can prove it to you. This has been off the air for years. Commercial. You deserve a break today at McDonald's. That hasn't been on for years. Oh, here's another one. Don't squeeze the Charmin. That's been off for years too. Here's another one.
Proving that we're old.
Well, there was a woman in the front row last night. She didn't know any of these because she was like 20. She's like, I don't know. Here's another one. I think you might know it. And this is interesting because they didn't run it a long time. It is this. Where's the beef? Right? They didn't even run that for a year. It was insane. So commercials and television and advertisers know that they want to show us something, they want to create a feeling, and they want us to hear something. They do it over and over again. Why? My mother was right. The unconscious mind is easily conditioned. That's the reason why they do it. The best example that I came across is a movie that I love, and I watch it every February. It's called Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. Phil Connors. Think of a triangle. At the top of the triangle is Phil. It's about me. It's about me. It's all about Phil. He just doesn't care about anybody. Me, 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 me. You know, you think of the top of a triangle, that's what he's thinking about. So he's there in Punxsutawney. The alarm clock goes off. I got you, babe. I won't sing it all, but it's Sonny and Cher. And then after that song stops, the announcers, there's two of them, say this. Rise and shine, campers, and don't forget your booties, because it's cold outside. It's Groundhog Day! So Phil gets up, walks out, looks out through the window, sees everybody going up to Nobbler Hill, and it's Groundhog. Big deal. Next day, same story. Next day, same story. And eventually he realizes that he's repeating patterns, and he tries to break the patterns. But he's focusing on the conscious mind. He's focusing on the externals, and nothing changes. What's running the show for Phil, and all of us, including me, is what's in the unconscious. It's our beliefs, our values, it's our worldview, and most of all, it is our identity. And until Phil changes his identity and his belief, nothing changes. Now here's the scary part. This you can look up. When I found this, I was startled. This will startle you. On average, we have 45 to 65,000 thoughts every single day. So what's today? The 27th of October, it's a Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday, this weekend's Halloween. Then it's going to be Thanksgiving and Christmas, or Hanukkah, whatever, the holidays. All of these things are conditioning us to buy more stuff, to give out candy, to do things. We have 45 to 65,000 thoughts every single day, and 90% of them are going to be repeated the next day. That's scary.
Boring.
That's boring. That's why I think people are attracted to the movie. They're watching the movie and they're like, wow, it kind of reminds me of my life. Now, it gets even more startling. People who study neuroscience say that anywhere from 43 to 48% of our life is on autopilot. What we think, what we feel, what we say, and what we do is repetition. And I think the only reason why we do it, and I don't know for sure, I think it's because we like comfort. We like to eat the same food, hang around with the same people, take the same routes to work, wear the same clothes. I don't know if you like me, I have hundreds and hundreds of clothes. I just focus on like 20% of it, 15% of it, wear the same stuff. I could go through and throw most of it away. So we repeat these patterns. Now while I'm talking about this, maybe you are thinking about your patterns, things that you do, you did yesterday, and probably tomorrow you're going to do. And the weekend's coming up, so what do you normally do on the weekend? What do you say? Who do you hang around with? Our life is like Groundhog Day. Let me give you an example. I want you to think of two different geometric shapes, not like a square, because everybody thinks of a square. And inside the center of one of them, I want you to put a number between 1 and 10, but not like 3, because everybody thinks of 3. And then make these two shapes two different colors. Now, if red flashed in your mind, or blue flashed in your mind, or the number 7 flashed in your mind, or a circle or a triangle, raise your hand and let me know. Did any of those things pop up? Look at your card.
Yeah.
It is red. Flip your card over. It is blue. It says GregDwyerEbook.com. By the way, what is the card? 7 of diamonds. I also mentioned George Miller, the magical number of 7. I also came out and asked you to make a circle. I also talked about this guy that was all about himself. I said, think of a triangle. Me, 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 me. All of the things that I've been saying for the last half hour, about 50% of them have been subliminal. They've been conditioning you. Even when I gave you the card at the beginning, I said, take a look at the triangle. Look at the circle. By the way, if you look on the other side, it's blue. It says Greg Dwyer ebook. You can go home and download my ebook. These are all commercials. This is what people are doing to you. This is what we do to ourselves. So I have to admit this. My mother was right. My mother was right. The unconscious mind is easily conditioned. So from 1999 to 2019, I struggled in business for years. I made money, I lost money, I tried this business venture, I bought books, I bought tapes, I went to every seminar imaginable for 20 years. And I'm not saying it was bad, but I didn't get too far. I almost felt like Phil Connors in Groundhog Day, like nothing really changed dramatically. And the reason why is because I was focusing on my conscious mind. And then one day, out of the blue, I get a phone call from a guy, Ken, in London. He said, Greg, I want you to speak in London, and I also want you to speak in Vegas. I says, I'm there, let's do it. So I go out to Vegas, and I'm speaking in front of a group of entrepreneurs, probably like 35 to 40 of them. And after it's over, I got invited to a party in Vegas. And most of the people were entrepreneurs and business people and entertainers. And I went to the party, and I met this guy by the name of Kenton, who was a business wizard. Like, this guy was really good business-wise, and also an entertainer. And I said to him, how come you're so good? Like, how come everything you touch turns to gold? How come you're so successful? What is the secret? So we got to know each other, and about 2 months later, I called him up and I said, I would be honored if you would mentor me, if you could teach me what you know. He agreed. I paid him a ridiculous amount of money, and I literally moved into his house. That's how serious I was. For 2 days, just 2 days. And this is true, we worked around the clock. And the first thing I said to Kenton was, what's the secret? How do you do it? How do you make things happen? And he said, Gregory, can you keep a secret? I said, yeah, why would you ask me that? He said, I need to know. Seriously, can you keep a secret? I said, yeah, why? He said, because what I'm going to share with you, you can't tell people. You have to teach them and show them. You can't just tell them. I said, okay, well, tell me. What is it? I promise. I'm not just going to tell people. I'm going to teach people if they want to learn it. He said, well, you know what Harry Houdini said. I said, yeah, Harry Houdini said this. My brain is the key that sets me free. I said, well, what does that have to do with anything? He says, it all has to do with reflection. And this is the third thing that I learned. Kenton said to me, successful people, they know what they want. Hands down. That's why I had you write something down on a piece of paper. They know what they want, and they condition their unconscious mind to get it. I said, that's it? That's the secret? He said, that's it. The secret is reflection. It's what you see, it's what you feel, and it's also what you hear in advance. Successful people know how to condition their unconscious mind. And with that, I had this in my hand. And I can see it now just as I saw it then many years ago. And he said to me this, if you have a washer and a string, you can follow along with me. You can hold the washer by the top of the string. And this is what Kenton said to me. He said, imagine that clock, or the washer, is going around in a circle from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And I want you to visualize this in advance. I want you to see the hands of the clock moving clockwise in a circle. And all he was doing is giving me a suggestion. He was just speaking to me, saying, think of a circle. Think of the movement going around and visualize the hand of the second hand or the minute hand going around in a circle. Then he said to me, I want you to feel the movement of the second hand going around in the circle. And then the last thing he said to me was, I want you to feel and also hear the clicking of the watch going around in a circle. Now, I don't know about you, but maybe yours is moving around in a circle just like mine. And I said, Kenton, what does this mean? He said this. This is a reflection into your unconscious mind. This shows you what you're thinking on an unconscious level. It's what you visualize, it's what you feel, and it's also what you hear. And successful people, they know what they want, and in addition to knowing what they want, they make it happen in advance. By visualizing it in advance, by feeling it in advance, and by hearing it in advance, and by their own auto-suggestions, they make it happen. That's the secret. The secret is people who are successful, they know what they want, and they condition their mind or their unconscious mind in these three areas. What they see, what they feel, and what they hear. You doing anything? Help me out. Come on up. You can put everything away.
Okay.
All right, give her a hand for volunteering, which she really didn't volunteer.
I saw her. She was raising.
I was jumping up.
You should jump in. This is going to be fun, and if you do decide to come up, no embarrassment. We're all going to learn from this, and I really appreciate it. So face the clock, and then you wrote down something on the card nobody knows. All of you wrote down things nobody knows. So I want you to focus on that one thing that you wrote down. And we're going to see if we can drive this into your unconscious mind. So hold your hands out like this and imagine that one hand is your unconscious and the other hand is your conscious. So we're playing around with visualization. We're being like children. I remember when I was a kid, I was like in 4th grade, I was like, I'm going to be a magician and I'm going to do this. And nobody told me no, and I was just playing around with my imagination. So I want you to imagine that there's a ball of white energy in between your two hands. And as you're looking at it, I want you to believe that a magnet is pulling your hands together. And what this symbolizes, and what this means, is that your hands are coming together, your unconscious and your conscious, and it's an indication that what you want, right? What you want wants you, and you're going to have it. So see your hands coming together like this? You see it? They're coming together. Now grip them together like this. We're going to do something very fun. Bring up your 2 index fingers. Now, one index finger is your conscious mind, the other is your unconscious mind, and imagine I have a magnet. They're coming together. All right. Did you do it?
Yes, why am I so susceptible?
No, this is wonderful. Have a seat. This is wonderful. Have a seat.
I was so weirded out.
So, are you embarrassed because of
No,
that?
I just thinking I'm so like susceptible.
All right, well that's the reason why I chose you. However, as we do this to ourselves, here's what I need you to know. We do this to ourselves anyway, or we allow other people to do this to ourselves. Just like I had you think of a triangle and a circle, number 7. That was a fun thing. We're doing this to ourselves anyway. We might as well think about what's important to us and visualize it. Because we only have so much time on the world. I'm turning 60 this year. Maybe I have a decade, maybe I have 2 decades. I don't know if I have 3. But life goes by quick, right? So focus on what's important and then bring it together in some kind of visualization. Now, you don't want to be doing this while you're driving, but it's important to stop every day and to think, like, what's important about today? What's important about this week or this month? Most people don't do this because they're so distracted. They jump out of bed, they go here, they go there, they're there. They're running patterns that they do on automatic, and they never stop to think, wow, you know, what really is important is love or family or travel or you know, whatever it is. Most people don't have the ability to stop and to think about it. So give her a hand. I think she did a great job. Yes. Colleen, you want to help me?
Oh, okay.
All right.
Should I bring my washer?
Oh, you don't have to bring anything but just your imagination.
Okay.
And stand over here. All right. The other thing I learned is not only do you visualize, but a way to influence or imprint, literally imprint, the unconscious mind is by writing things down. So my mom, when I was a kid, always would write things down. She would always journal. About 30 years ago, I wrote down on a notebook that I wanted to travel the world, that I wanted to go to Fiji and Europe, and I didn't have the means when I was 30. I didn't have the time, I didn't have anything. But I imagined it, and I wrote it down. And in the process, 2009, I started a travel business where I take people all over the world. The next one is in Ireland, where I get people to get out of their familiar habits to go somewhere different, like Fiji or Ireland or Italy or Germany, so that they can think about their life. They're not in the patterns that are running them, and they can think about, wow, what's really important? Maybe they journal, but it's a retreat. I've been all over the world. And I'm not boasting, because not everything I wrote down has come true. But I know the power of writing things down. not just once in a while. Some people write things down like New Year's Eve, but I'm talking about daily habits. So I have a circle here of a clock, very familiar. I'd like you to circle a number. Now it doesn't have to be 7. I want you to feel like you had a free choice, and you do. So you're going to circle either 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You're just going to circle one of the circles. You can turn your back to me and I'll turn my back to you. Just circle one of the numbers. And then put the cap on so no one gets hurt, and then have the piece of paper face down when you're done. Good?
Yep.
All right. So we'll take the pen first, put that on the table, we don't need it all, and then the piece of paper face down as well. Now this is a true story. I don't know how you feel about these two people, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. True story, you can Google this. The first time they ever met in public, they were at a wedding. Bill sat over there, Warren sat over there, and the mom, I don't know which mom, I need to do my research, but one of the moms said, hey, listen, I want to know why you're so successful. My son is so successful. Why? So one of the moms, true story, asked these two guys to just simply write down something that was important to them. This guy wrote down a word, and he flipped it over and kept it a secret. He didn't tell anybody. The other guy, he was over here like 6 feet, 8 feet. He also turned around and wrote down a word and didn't tell anybody at all. Now, they flipped over the two words. Guess what they wrote down, Colleen? Just take a guess. Your intuition, what do you think it was? Just take a guess.
Money.
No, it was not money. What do you think it was? Anybody?
No, I was thinking money.
Nope.
Fame,
Nope.
fortune.
Nope. 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 Happiness. You're all thinking about you. What they wrote down is the word focus. They both wrote down the word focus, 100%. Both of them did it at the same time, which to me is absolutely a miracle. Focus. So let's do a focus exercise. Hold that. I want you to think about what you wrote down. Yeah, the card that you wrote down. And concentrate on, can you fix that? It's a little snagged right there. Did you see how it's snagged? Yeah, you got it. All right, so just hold it steady. Hold it steady. Good, good. Now focus on what you wrote down. Now as you're thinking about it, imagine it's going around in a circle. All right, it's going around in a circle. Your hand is steady. Are you actually doing this? What's going on?
Consciously trying to keep it steady.
You're constantly trying to keep it steady. And what's happening? So just focus on what you wrote down. All right. So I don't know what you wrote down, but I'm seeing something like the letter H. Is there an H in it at all? Yeah, okay, there is an H. Okay. So just focus on the word. Just focus on the word. See how mine is going around? All right. Now what we're doing is we're confusing her conscious mind. Because she can't think about what she wrote down and also the number, right? And you got everybody looking at you. So there's a lot of things going on. But I want you to know, Colleen, that what is in your unconscious mind is impacting your life every single day. What number did you write down? Tell us.
Number on
The number, yeah, you wrote down.
That.
Yes, you only wrote down one number
I
tonight.
circled it.
You circled it. Yeah, what was
That's
it?
what you mean.
I didn't absolutely, yeah.
That thing with on the chin.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. What time does it say?
9 o'clock.
What number did you write down?
9.
Okay.
No.
9 o'clock. Now, I also want you to know that if every day you focus on being happy, you will be.
That's the word I wrote.
That's the word she wrote down on the card. Have a seat, have a seat. Thank you so much, Colin. Thank you so much. I got your number too.
That's amazing.
No, you're amazing. Your mind is amazing. I need or want Another volunteer. Who doesn't want to volunteer?
That's who you want.
All right, let me ask you this. This is a serious question. This, I think, is the highlight of the lecture. Because if you walk away with this experience, meaning you're up here and you walk through it, you're walking through probably at least $500 worth of coaching. If you're in the room and you have something at stake and you really participate and see what's going on, you're also going to walk away with anywhere from $500. I mean, this is probably the most powerful, magical, true thing that I can show somebody. So is there anyone here that wants to step into this experience? Anybody? You want to do it? All right, give me a hand. All right, you can put everything away because we don't need anything. All right, wonderful. Now you wrote something down.
I did.
I have no idea what it is.
I don't.
Yes, there you go. So this is what I tell people. I am not a mind reader, but what I do is read people. You do it too. When you walked in the room, you read me, I read you. We all do this. We see politicians on TV. We see things. We read people. Oh, it's nice to meet you. Or you're on the phone with somebody. You get an image in your head of who they are. Then you meet him like, wow, I didn't know you were so short. I didn't know you were so... We're always reading people. You know, it's like, okay, this guy's an analytical type. He probably works for a company that deals with details and facts. You know, we're always reading people. So what I'm doing isn't necessarily supernatural. It's just that I practice this. This is what I focus on. Hands out of your pocket. Think about what you want. Think about what you wrote down. Here's 10. If we go a little over, is that okay? If we go like 5 minutes over, is that okay? Is it? So here is 10, because I'm having fun. Here is 10, and here is 1. And 10 is, I have no doubt that what I wrote down is going to come true this year, today, this month. I have no doubts. There's no room for error. Maybe there's a little ego involved, but maybe you're a 5. And a 5 would be like, you know, I'm hoping this is going to happen. I hope it. And a 1 would be total despair. So I'm hoping that you're between 1 to 10. Can you give me a number? 8. All right, good. So he's an 8. This is wonderful. We have something to play with. So we're going to play with 3 things. 3 things we're going to play with. Visualization, what he feels, and what he hears. Because this is what Kenton taught me. He said, look, successful people, they know what they want. They condition their unconscious mind ahead of time to get it by what they see, what they feel, what they hear. And I'm like, wow, so we're going to do it. So imagine there's a circle. The circle is about 3 to 4 inches or 3 to 4 feet in diameter. It's right there. It's about that. It's a round circle. And this circle represents excellence. It represents happiness. It represents success. What color would that circle be? Using your imagination. Blue. So we got a blue circle. He's visualizing a blue circle. He's an 8. That circle is bubbling up. That circle is full of energy. That circle is powerful. Now step 1 foot into the circle and tell me how you feel. The other foot too. And then tell me how you feel now. Are you still an 8 or are you higher?
Actually, I'm 7.
Okay, good. Step back. That's fine. We get all different kinds of. So why stepping into the circle gave you a 7? What was it about that made you go down?
Unknown.
Unknown. Okay, good. All right. What would that circle have to be like to give you certainty? Would the color have to be different? Would the feeling have to be different? What about that circle that would give you a sense of certainty? Is it just because you've never done this before?
Well, I'm sure that's a part of it.
Okay, so
I think the color would be a factor.
All right, you want to change the color?
I do. I want to change it to red.
Red. All right, I love red.
Can I step it in?
Step it in again. And there's no right or wrong answer here. So how do you feel right now?
I do feel more confident.
Good.
I do feel better about it.
Red is a powerful color for some people.
Feels better.
What are you now?
I'm back to, I'm an 8.5.
Okay, excellent. Stand back. This is wonderful. So this is what I did. And these are not for sale. Someday they will be. This is a pack of cards. I'll give you a couple. I'll give you a couple. And I'll give you a couple. So there's 52 cards. They're all different. Every single card has an affirmation. There's 52 of them. So one for every week, because there's 52 weeks in a year. Or one for every day. I've memorized, take a look at them, I've memorized every single card. The first card, stay positive, think successful. The second card is, there's only one rule in life, and that's to love yourself. The next card is no fears, no limits. Imagination is the first step towards reality. I memorized all 52 because every single day I look at these cards. Or if I'm at a stoplight and I don't have the cards, I just rehearse them in my mind. They're all positive affirmations. And they're all different. So do you find one that yells at you and says, this is a card that resonates with you? Can you just pick one of them? Yeah, just pick one. You can randomly pick it or you can consciously pick it. It's up to you. Did you like one of
I
them?
did.
Good. It's
I don't know
there.
what the hell it is now.
What did it start with? I can help you.
It was happiness.
Be happy, be grateful, for it's the essence. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Oh, you are a magnet. Okay, that's great. I'll take the rest. You keep the one.
Oh, I get you in mine.
Yeah, why not? So say that out loud.
You are a magnet, and happiness will attract happiness.
So I say this every single day, at least Monday through Friday. I'm not so, that I do it every day, but I love this. Be happy, or you're a magnet. You're a magnet because happiness attracts happiness. So what you wrote down, does it have to do with happiness? Or if you have it, it make you happy? All right, great. So say it out loud. Say it out loud.
This one?
Yeah, go ahead. The one you
You
chose.
are a magnet, and happiness will attract happiness.
Now step in the circle of the red and tell me how you feel.
I feel pretty good.
You feel any better?
I do. I feel I'm up to 9. I think.
Okay, step back. So we are just playing as kids with our imagination, but this is what Kenton told me. He says, most people are distracted in life. Groundhog Day. They're just going through the patterns, they're going through the life, and they never stop to think what's important to them. If you get to that point where you start thinking about what's important to you, you've separated yourself from the masses. Now, if you take the next step and say, I'm going to focus, visualize, which you just did. That red circle, it's not there. He's visualizing it, right? The card, he's hearing it. And did you see the feeling he got? He was emotional, the feeling. I do this, you do this, we all do this. You're at a light. Today I was in Litchfield where I live, and I'm coming through New Milford, and they're working on the ground, and guy behind me from New York is screaming out the window, and I'm saying to myself, I'm going to stay calm. I'm going to be able to be here tonight. I don't want to be triggered by the drama that's going down. I was in line for 20 minutes. It's like, this is fine. This is fine. People were going nuts because they were stepping into, why is this happening? This is terrible. I do this, you do this, we all do this. Now I want you to pick a card without thinking of it. So your unconscious is going to do it. This is how we're going to do it. Just shuffle those up a little bit. I've memorized every single card. I don't want you to think that I'm doing any sleight of hand. I'm not.
I noticed you put mine on the bottom.
I did. So your wife is I don't believe it.
Good. I'll be on the bottom.
All right. So the card will pick you. So all I want you to do is pick a card unconsciously, and then you're gonna put it face. No, you're not gonna, because we don't need it right now. And then put the cards here, and then stand over here on this side. So now we have a circle over here that is a circle of despair. It is a circle of setback. It is a circle of heartache. I don't know about you, I've experienced heartache in my life. My mom died when I was a kid. I was only 15 years old. We've had things happen. We've lost pets. People have had sickness. That's what I want you to see here. What color is that?
Purplish black.
It's purplish black. We're playing with our imagination. How do you feel now about what you wrote down as far? Are you still a 9?
Down here.
Yeah.
I like it.
And he hasn't even stepped in the circle yet. How do you feel now?
Number?
Yeah.
6.
6. So this is the power of not my suggestion. I'm not going to go with you forever. This is what we're doing to ourselves. We do this I do it. So now step into the circle and tell me how you feel. What number?
I don't like it.
Yeah, what number?
I'll go 4.
4. Magic, step back. This is the contrast. Over here he was an 8, then he was a 9. What did we do? All we did was play with what he saw, what he felt, what he heard. That's it. Let's take it to a next level. I have, for Halloween, I went to the dollar store. I got my Halloween cup. I have in here a lock and 2 keys. I'm going to give you the lock and the 2 keys. So 2 hands maybe so you know who's in it.
Big lock.
Yeah, big lock. Step in the circle and do your best to open the lock with the key or keys. There's 2 keys. So go ahead, open it up. You'll find that the key will not work. Don't break it, because that'll be a problem. Try the other key. And then notice what you're feeling as you realize this isn't working. How do you feel right now?
Anxiety.
Anxiety, right? And what's the big deal? All it is a key and a lock, and he feels anxiety. Try another, yeah, okay. He can try this all night long. So what number would you be if we gave you a number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4. See that?
Still not.
Right.
Like the lotto.
All right, pull both keys out. Gotcha. It's locked. I mean, they don't work. I mean, they fit, but they don't open. All right, now step back out and tell me how you feel on a scale of 1 to 10. Right.
I'm not crazy higher.
All right, let's bring you back over to the other circle.
In this circle.
Well, we're going to make it open because here's the key. Here's the key. Now we're playing with his imagination. You have to trust me. I wouldn't lie to you.
I'm good.
I wouldn't set you up. I'm not here to embarrass you. This key opens the lock. He believes it or he doesn't believe it. I want you to see in advance that you take this key, put it into the lock, and turn it. Not only do you feel it turn, you also hear it click, and it pops open, and then you're in the circle.
I'm going in first.
Yeah, well, you'll go in while you do it,
Okay.
and then I'm going to ask you how you feel about it in advance. Let's do it.
Am I going in the circle?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hopping in there?
Yeah, you got it. Don't mix up the keys, just use the
No,
one.
no.
All right, excellent. How do you feel? How do you feel? But how do you feel? 1 to 10.
Oh, 9.
Okay, 9. Excellent.
Kitty, we'll go 10.
Yeah, all right, you're
Oh, you
going to...
know what the hell?
All right.
I don't know, it's open.
All right, all right. All right, so lock the lock. Make sure it's really locked. All right, drop the keys in here.
Keys.
Yes,
All
1, 2,
three.
3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then step back. Shake that up, shake that up, shake that up. You're going to choose one key out of the 3. You're going to step in the circle. You're going to, in front of all of these people, take one key and put it in the lock. And if it opens, what you wrote about is going to be certain, more than a 10. How confident do you feel about checking and getting the right key?
Shockingly confident.
He does. That's right. Well, let's take it to another level. Let's take it to another level. You unconsciously chose a card. This is the card you chose. I want you to look at it, memorize it, and put it on the table when you know what it is. You can memorize it, you know what it is. Got it? All right. Say that mantra to yourself.
Just to myself.
Yeah, because nobody knows, you know? Nobody knows what it is, only he does. I mean, I don't go around telling people that I have a deck of cards and I have these mantras. I don't go around telling people that I make circles in my room and I step in to feel happy in the morning. Because they would think I was crazy. Which, all right. How confident do you feel?
Like, confident.
All right, so he's got 1 and 3. What do you think? You going to bet the mortgage in the house on it? All right. Which key do you want? You can choose any one you want. All right. So just give me 2 and you keep 1. All right, he's got it.
It's going to open up.
And how do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10? All right, good. Here we go.
Can I tell them the mantra now?
I will.
When
You
it
can and you
actually-
will.
when I-
You can and you will.
Yes,
Is that
you
it?
will. I can.
And I will.
And I
Is that the mantra? Excellent. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Mr. Duncan, have a seat. Very good.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Absolutely. All right, so at this time, I take questions. If we can go over 5 minutes, that would be wonderful. What's up? Did you switch the keys? No. I didn't switch the keys. No switching keys. That's why they were in the cup. But only one key opens, so that's kind of cool.
That was cool.
Well, that is the finale. If you get that, you don't have to remember everything else, but the 3 points are, over here, the conscious mind is easily distracted, which is what I learned from Misdirection. What I learned from my mom is the unconscious mind is conditioned easily. And what I learned from this guy, Kenton, which I practice every day, is that the successful people know what they want, and they purposely condition their unconscious mind to get it with reflection by what they see, what they feel, and what they hear. It looks like magic, but it really isn't.
Because I went from feeling low in my confidence, came
Yes.
over here,
Yes.
and I went straight into the toilet over here, and then came over here, and it just increased the confidence, you know. And I mean,
Exactly. And what is it? We're just playing with imagination. That's all we're playing with. Any questions? Questions, questions, questions. Colleen, any questions? Any questions? So this is Magic Week. It is historically considered Magic Week from the October 25th to Halloween. Harry Houdini died on Halloween at 1:26 in the afternoon on Halloween Day. And so magicians all over the world celebrate Magic Week this week. So I want to conclude with a little bit of magic, but it focuses on three things: what you hear, what you see, and what you feel. So it kind of wraps it up. Kind of, when you walk away, you're like, oh, I remember this lecture because it's what you see, it's what you feel, and what you hear. Would you help me? Just sit over here, please. Now, you don't know what she wrote down, right? He doesn't know what you wrote down.
I don't think it is.
Okay. All right, sit forward, straight. Would you help me too? All right, would you sit over here? Give him a hand, give him a hand. We're going to focus on three things. The first thing we're going to focus on is what we see, then what we feel, and what we hear. So I have two cards. One of you is going to be the sender, the other one's going to be the receiver. Now, how long have you guys been married?
50 years.
Yeah, so this is not, yeah, that's a miracle. This is
That's
not,
the
maybe
magic.
just
Kind of go like this.
yeah. So I will tell you that this isn't going to look so spectacular if we had two complete strangers in the room. You guys probably can remember each other's stories, things like that. So I want you to sit identically the same way. So no crossing, just the same way. So you look. Now, one of you is going to be the sender. So the sender is going to focus on what's important to them, and the other person is going to be the receiver, but I don't want to know who is who, and I don't want anybody in the audience to know who is doing it. What you're going to do is you're going to see a word. You're going to send or receive a word, and then you're going to say that word. So it's really pretty simple. If you were out at a restaurant, you could probably repeat or tell each other sentences about yourself. But this is going to be visualization. It's going to be an exercise in visualization. Do you both get it?
Okay, but it's not the word we wrote.
Well, we'll give you the directions, but from now on, no verbal conversation. No verbal conversation. So when you read that, don't show it to anybody, but read it, and once you comprehend it, what you're doing is you're reading it, you're cognitively understanding it, you're figuring out what's important, and then you know what that means to you, and then you would fold that in half. You would do the same thing. You would look at that, read it, you'd have no doubts what this is about, and you would fold it in half. So you know what's important? You fold it in half. Don't say a word. You know what's important, then you can fold it. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's really simple. So I read a book by this guy, Jose Silva. And what he said was, it's amazing how people are connected. It's insane how people are connected. He had an illustration where he was asking his daughter questions. This is a true story. He was asking her questions, and after a while she kind of went into a trance, and then after a while she knew the questions that he was going to ask before he asked them. So you know what's important. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to close your eyes. One of you is the sender, the other one is the receiver. I want you to send or receive. I want you to see, and then in a second, I'm going to ask you to say something. So it's really simple. We're just connecting on visualization. So your eyes should be closed because you're using your imagination. And that's really what's important. People who know what's important, they write it down, and it's really clear to them. They don't have to say, oh, I don't know what I wrote down. Sending and receiving, all right? So we're going to go through 10.
Having to do with the card you showed me.
Well, we shouldn't be talking about this. I mean, it's very clear what was written on that card, yes? But I don't want her to know, so we can't really talk about this.
No, I'm not.
But it's one thing. So close your eyes, and we're going to go from 10, and then we're going to get to 5. And when I get to 1, you're going to say, your eyes should be shut. You're going to say what you saw on that card that I just handed you. And you're going to say what you just saw. One of you is the sender, one of you is the receiver. Are we good? My grandparents would say, kabish. All right, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What was the word?
Fen.
No. No. What was the word?
Then,
Did you write down family?
I did.
And this is the word that he received.
Got it.
Got it. All right, give him a hand. Give him a hand. You got the word family. That's what you wrote down, and you didn't tell him that. That's why I didn't want you to talk. All right, now you really have to pay attention here and focus, because this will not work unless you really pay attention to everything that you feel and everything that you see. You must close your eyes and not talk. We're actually over time. We're at 100, now we're at 99, now we're at 80, now we're at 70, now we are at 60. I want you to keep your eyes closed, your mouth quiet. I want you to experience what you see and what you feel. Now we're at 40, now we're at 30. Keep your eyes, close your eyes. Make sure you use your imagination. Now we're at 20, now we're at 19, 18, 17, 16, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now keep your eyes closed. If you felt a tap or taps, raise your right hand now. Good. Put your hand down. Point into the direction that you felt the taps or taps. Point in the direction. All right? Good. All right? Now we're going to ask you to open your eyes, and I have in my hand a cup with a die. And you don't know exactly, can you see what he's doing over there? Can you see it? Now shake that, sir, shake that die up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pick a number, any number you want. Now you have no idea what the number is, right?
I know.
And even though you're married to him, sir, is the number changing every time you're shaking that cup up?
I guess so.
Okay, take a look consciously. Look at the number. What is it?
6.
Good. Shake it up again with your hand on top so it doesn't fly off. And take a look at it. What is it?
2.
All right. We're going to do it a third time. Shake it up. Take a look at it. What is it?
5.
Excellent. Sir, shake it up, but don't tell anybody. Shake it up. Shake it up. Shake it up. Take a look at it. Don't tell anybody. Look at it. Look at it. Visualize the number. Don't say it out loud. Don't say it. Just you're the sender. She's going to be the receiver. Put your fingers in your ears. Close your eyes. Keep your head up like this. You're going to receive the number from him to you. And in a moment, you're going to know without a shadow of doubt what he's holding. Shake your head if you know what it is. Okay, what is it? Go ahead.
3.
It is a 3. Sir, don't lie to us. What is that number?
3.
No way. How long have you been married? You can read his mind. Take a look at that.
That's amazing.
All right, have a seat, have a seat, have a seat. Have a seat. We are done. We are done. Have a seat. And you wrote down family, and he knew it was family. So be careful of what you think.